What is good, everybody? It's D Brown Shanghai, and today I want to talk to y'all about MyFaction. The game mode has seen a slight improvement this year with the addition of online PvP, but it wasn't missing a ton of things from the game mode. The missing online PvP was the real issue for this game mode. So with that, I've been playing a good bit of MyFaction this year, just trying to get resources so that when it does come time, when they start dropping the good cards, that I have them and I can go online and I can show them off. But what I want to talk about today is the cards themselves. There are a few cards that are on my wish list that this game mode needs. And it's not just for me personally. I think I'll speak for a lot of us wrestling fans and WWE fans when I say these cards. And last year, that was another problem outside of the online. They weren't dropping cards frequent enough. The total base of all of the cards in the game was very limited, and they didn't have that many cards in the game. It is what it is. But this year you have the opportunity to fix that, and without any further ado, I would like to announce my top 5 wish lists. Starting with an honorable mention, I think that we need a Diamond Fiend card. During the Fiend's run, we know he was an unstoppable force who finisher after finisher after finisher, even foreign objects couldn't keep him down. And he was just as dangerous offensively. I would like to see that represented in a diamond card that you can get through packs. And now moving on to number 5. We need a 2016 debuting AJ Styles card, preferably Amethyst. I'm not gonna give exact attributes that I think it should be. I'll leave that up to the guys in the studio. But an Amethyst 2016 AJ card would be lovely, especially considering that the player model is basically in the game already. All they would have to do is just change the attire. Moving on to number 4, I would like to see a card for the one night stand version of RVD. The card is already in the game. The player model itself with the correct attire and everything is already in the game. Only thing they gotta do is just go in and make it a diamond or an amethyst. This was a point where RVD, not that he wasn't always one of the most over guys, because RVD been one of the most over people since the 90s, let's be real. It's 2023, and since the 90s, RVD has been one of those guys. But all they have to do is make the attributes reflect accurately. Give us a high 90, mid to low 90 overall RVD with his ECW one night stand gear on, and that card will be so much fun to use. Moving on to number 3, we need a Ruby Scott Steiner. Now this would have to come later in the year when they drop the DLC with the Steiner brothers in it, but we don't want regular Scott Steiner. We don't want Steiner Bros, headgear, singlet Scott Steiner. We want the big bad booty daddy. We want Freakzilla Big Papa Pump. One of the most entertaining personalities in wrestling history. We need a Ruby, at least a Ruby Big Papa Pump, so we can have Freakzilla with his freaks and his peaks and a decent My Team card that we can take, and if you run into an overpowered Roman Reigns, which we know at some point an overpowered Roman Reigns is coming. So when you run into these cards, you have the option to run the Daddy of the Night. And of course we want him in the Big Papa Pump attire, like I said, not the Steiner Bros attire. Now moving on to number 2, and these last two are truly iconic. Number 2 being 2004 No Way Out Eddie Guerrero, where he won the WWE Championship from Brock Lesnar. Now it don't matter how he won it. I don't want to hear nobody in here talk, well, Goldberg action. I don't care. Eddie Guerrero is one of the greatest ever. And last year, the highest Eddie Guerrero card was like an 80 overall Sapphire. Now I'm not gonna say the disrespect because they were figuring things out last year. So we want that Diamond 2004 Eddie Guerrero with that No Way Out attire. I'm not saying you gotta make these cards easy to get. I'm just saying, this is what we want. Now moving on to number 1, I can damn near guarantee there will be nobody who opposes this. There's nobody who's gonna be like, well, we don't really want that card. We want the Wrestling Machine. Yeah! 2006 Kurt Angle, the man was on the run of his life. Mouthpiece, black shoes, tough singlet, 97 overall in SmackDown versus Raw. We want that Kurt Angle. We want the Kurt Angle that put fear in your friend's heart. We want the Kurt Angle like, man, you get Kurt Angle again. We want that Kurt Angle. And I would say make him a 99 overall, but that's being very, very extra. So I'll settle for a 95 or a 97. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. 2K, y'all really have a potential game mode seller. A game mode that people will potentially buy your game for to play specifically. If done right. Update cards frequently. Every Friday, do a drop. Do new themes every Friday with new packs. When you're updating the weekly towers and faction wars, and you updating the rewards and prizes, take into account what part of the year you in, okay? We in the middle of the year, we need to have better cards in these things, you know? Keep the game fresh with something to do always. So that's all I got for y'all today. 2K, hopefully y'all hear this and this can be some use to y'all. I'm not saying my ideas are better than anyone's. I'm just saying we all have a few ideas. And if any of these can make the game mode better, then why not use them? But as always, man, I am D Brown Shanghai. Y'all take care of yourself. Take care of your people. I'm up out of here. I'll catch y'all in the next one.